In the initial scene, we are acquainted with a 5-year-old Korean girl named Chung In-hyung. She is on the floor of her room, drawing her sketchbook. In-hyung loves to draw pictures of girls with beautiful eyes and overstated facial features. Her manifestations are frequently creative. Furthermore, high level for a youngster, it is one of her numerous gifts appreciated by her teacher and family. In-hyung's mom goes into the room prior to asking her what she is doing. She has seen In-hyung draw wonderful pictures a few times, yet the little girl never failed to surprise her mom. This specific drawing intrigues her more than expected. To glorify it significantly more, she approaches it what's more, puts it on the wall of her room. Close to the picture are a few different drawings that In-hyung has made previously. Every one of them are special, however have a typical topic. In-hyung looks at the wall and grins at her achievement. Surprisingly, we notice that the mother doesn't show us her face all through the scene. From that point forward, the scene slices to quite a long while later. In-hyung has grown up into a teenage girl who is fixated on her looks. One morning, she is waiting outside the school for her dearest friend. While waiting, she takes a gander at herself in a mirror, criticizing the imperfections all over. All through her experience growing up, she used to do the same to her drawings, yet as she experienced childhood, In-hyung began dealing with her face like a canvas. The progress isn't especially something beneficial for her since she is too cruel on herself. As she quietly whines about her face, her friend races to her and apologizes for being late. They hold hands and advance toward the cosmetic doctor. In-hyung's obsessed on having a perfect face as she was growing dramatically over the years. Now that she is mature enough to get plastic surgery, she wants to change her whole face to look like the models on billboards. The friends calmly waiting for their appointment in the relaxing region. They are apprehensive since the day is one of the most significant days of their lives. As they talk, we figure out that In-hyung hasn't told her parents concerning the appointment. She hopes they won't protest since plastic surgery has become something very normal in the modern world. Her friend, nonetheless, is apparently apprehensive about the plan. Unexpectedly, she requests to see In-hyung's sketchbook. It is then uncovered that she made constantly peculiar sketches of women like she used to, but since they are extremely personal to her, she will not show the sketchbook to her friend. The girl couldn't care less about her privacy and over demands. When In-hyung actually doesn't agree, she takes her bag and forcefully gets the sketchbook out. Luckily for In-hyung, before her friends can get a glance at the pages, a nurse calls out to her. She takes a deep breath prior to strolling in to see the doctor. She additionally brings the sketchbook with her as reference pictures. She energetically shows them to the doctor, waiting for her response, but her heart breaks into pieces when the doctor snickers at her drawings. The woman can practically not believe that In-hyung want to look as unpleasant as the sketch's drawings. In-hyung still hopes that the surgery would be conceivable, however is informed that her desire is as well unreasonable. Since her face is built completely uniquely in contrast to the sketches, it is unthinkable for them to reframe it in the way she needs. She is obtusely asked to give up on her dreams, however. In-hyung would rather not get back with nothing. She begins arguing with the doctor and tells her that the picture isn't extremely not the same as the doctor's face herself. The doctor doesn't fancy being slighted by a student. She takes care of In-hyung, expressing that regardless if they could perform the surgery, a girl like her couldn't able to afford it. Their clinic is selective to the rich and In-hyung is most certainly not one of them. Up to this point, we have not seen the doctor's face. Out of nowhere, the camera dished toward her to uncover her intensely modified and scary-looking features. Her skin is like that of a porcelain doll, her jawline is unnaturally sharp and pointed, her eyes look animated, and her nose is surprisingly built. This, additional with the flimsy eyebrows, make her seem to be a spooky doll. She has without a doubt undergone surgery a few times to get to where she is. It is practically astonishing that In-hyung has been discussing with her normally up until. But the greatest amazement comes when she asks that she wants to look like the doctor, regardless of the expense of the procedures. The doctor yields to her requests and tells her the total cost. The numbers make In-hyung pivot and get back without a word. She doesn't actually talk with her friends, who is interested about how the appointment went. Next, In-hyung is at home. She, her mom, and her sister are talking while at the same time enjoying supper together. In-hyung is calm as a result of the occurrence of the day, yet the other two discussion is about a man who was bitten by a dog. It just so happens, the dog was made to get plastic surgery to look prettier. The mother thinks it is odd, however In-hyung's senior sister contends animal plastic surgery is a popular trend. In-hyung makes a move to let them know that she likewise wants to undergo surgery. Then, we get to see her mom and sister's appearances. Interestingly, they appear to be indistinguishable from one another also. To the doctor, who In-hyung saw before, it is then uncovered that the spooky doll look is the new beauty standard. Each model, actor, and internet personality has a similar face. The trend has taken control over the world, making even the ordinary look resemble the other the same. People overdo it with the surgery to look ordinarily appealing, and uniqueness in facial features is non-existent. Disregarding the conspicuous distinction among her and In-hyung, her sister asks her for what good reason she wants plastic surgery. They argue that she is as of now gorgeous, however sound like Hippocrates to In-hyung. She looks at them in dismay, requesting them to look in the mirror. She needs to finish her face before the yearbook picture regardless of anything, since her elder sister also got plastic surgery. In secondary school, she argues that it is only fair she gets it also, but regrettably, the mother and sister are against the thought. They think In Hyung isn't ready for a life-changing methodology. Furthermore, regardless of whether she will be, she really wants to pay for it herself. A few minutes after, the dad joins them during supper. His face affirms that the trend isn't restricted to simply women. His features are identical to his wife and girl with the exception of the facial hair. The family keeps eating peacefully, which the dad believes is odd. When he asks them what's up, In Hyung stomps off to her room, leaving her plate of food unfinished. As we see In Hyung going to meet her friends, she desires to freshen her mood, however her heart drops on getting a look at her friend's face. She has also gotten plastic surgery to look like most of them. The girl asks In Hyung if she enjoys the new look, however In Hyung is simply too stunned to remark it. She feels more terrible than she prior now that she is the only odd person. In Hyung goes back without expressing anything to her friend. Returning, it begins to rain, yet she doesn't mind to wait for it to stop. All In Hyung can imagine is the manner by which appalling she looks and how frantically she wants the surgery. Unexpectedly, her desire shows itself and she sees a notice on the wall that catches her eye. It publicizes free facial surgery from doctor who wish to test their skill on the patients. The person performing the surgery would be a non-professional who could mess the face by and large, yet, In Hyung will face the risk. Without burning through much time, she pursues the free cosmetic surgery program. The very next morning, she goes to the doctor's office. The man is a crude person who doesn't tell her much about the procedure, yet since he has a similar face like every other person, In Hyung thinks he will work effectively. Before the activity begins, In Hyung is made to sign a consent form that states assuming any mix-up is made during the surgery, the professional won't be to blame since In Hyung definitely knows the dangers, as she is on an emergency bed at the hospital, prepared for the operation. In her dreams, she sees her post-surgery face wrapped by bandages. Everything appears to have gone without a hitch. Her mom is behind her, taking the bandage off. Interestingly, to her enjoyment, her face looks exactly how she wanted it to. The mother approaches and compares about their face, however she out of nowhere begins to overreact. Simultaneously, we hear the doctor asking In Hyung if she can hear him. He additionally asks her if she can open her eyes. When he gets no answer, he apprehensively says that he is screwed up. A clasp of In Hyung shows us her face wrapped in bloodied bandages. The surgery has turned out badly. Next, as we see In Hyung's family at the dinner table eating their meal. A few minutes after, In Hyung gets back and goes along with them. The family totally disregards her attendance from the outset. Following a couple of moments or thereabouts, they unexpectedly quit eating. Furthermore, go to her in a state of harmony. The film closes as they keep gazing at her and we never get to see the result of the surgery. The end. If you like this story, please subscribe to the channel and like it to motivate me to bring you more stories like this.